What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Beyond the Backboard Podcast. Another episode. What is this? Like 89, I think. Actually, 89 episodes. I know Earl. I know Jay. You only been there for a
Probably like
certain amount
10,
of,
8.
probably around 10 episodes. But we've been around. We've been around for 2 years, given that constant NBA content. If you guys like us, go ahead check us out on YouTube at the Beyond the Backboard Podcast. We only have 116 subscribers. Get us up to 200, and we'll give you guys a kiss. But um I did want to start off this podcast, but obviously you guys can see the title. Tom Thibodeau of the New York Knicks has been fired. I want to give the man his flowers real quick before I really get into it. But 4 out of 5 years that he was a head coach, he took the team to the playoffs 4 times. From first round eliminations to Eastern Conference Finals eliminations. I did like what he did when he came here. It's not I look at his tenure over the past couple of years, and I realize like he really did bring us from one of those poverty franchises to actually one to be proud of, starting on the defensive end, and that's what really bolstered the team to originally be like. For example, Julius Randle when he had R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly and all those rookies when they're all just young lads. Tom Thibodeau was there coaching them, giving them hell on the defensive end, and actually took them into the playoffs. It wasn't a far run. We only ran into Atlanta and got swept out the gym, but it was something to be proud of. And Tom Thibodeau was that coach to lead us there. So again, before we go into anything else related to Tom Thibodeau, we do have to understand that he was a great coach for the time being. But now I think the Knicks are in a position to move on to somebody that can take them over the hump. Before I get into my individual preferences and how I feel why this all culminated to be so,
What's up, Andrew?
I want you guys to go ahead and give your opinions. Like, what's up?
Yeah, I have a lot of opinions on this one, man.
And I know you're a Chicago Bulls fan, so you probably feel
Yeah.
a certain way about them.
I'm a Bulls fan. As you guys see in the back, you got my little banner up. But I think Tibbs was a really good coach, man. So let me break it down real quick. You fired Tom Thibodeau. I'm gonna just go over what he did for the Knicks. Brought them to their first Eastern Conference Finals since 2000, 25 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
226 and 174 record in 5 seasons. Went to the playoffs 4 out of 5 seasons. 2021 Coach of the Year, back-to-back 50-win seasons, and you fire him when you're 2 wins away from going to the finals. I don't agree. And I'm not even saying this as a Bulls fan, as a Tip supporter. I do like
shout
Tibbs
out
and
to
all that.
Kanan in the chat.
But bro, hey, chill out.
Hey, y'all should
But,
go pick up Thibodeau.
But yeah, man, I don't understand why fire him when it was clearly a roster issue. The bench was not good. The bench failed the Knicks. And he did adjust late with rotations. He adjusted too late in the series. He should have made adjustments earlier. It is what it is. You beat Boston, the team that you put the roster together to beat. You beat that team. While you were going to beat them healthy or not. You got over the hump with Boston, and you lost to the second best team in the entire NBA. Look at January 1st and look at the records. OKC number 1, Indiana Pacers number 2. You lost to the team with the second best record. I don't understand why fire him. I think you guys should have did what the Clippers did. Like how the Clippers last season, they have Ty Lue, great offensive mind. What did they do? You bring in a defensive-minded assistant, Jeff Van Gundy. And look what the Clippers did go out in the first round, but they lost in 7 games to the best player in the world, Nikola Jokic. The Knicks could have did the same thing.
Thibs was never officially on the hot seat, by the way. I just want to point that out. Continue, Jay.
But yeah, Tibbs, great defensive-minded coach. As we all know, the defense was not great this year. So you take a step back, reevaluate, re-scheme. Cat drop coverage defense, worst of our generation. He's horrible. Cat's defense was a huge problem. I do put some of that on Tibbs. If you're a defensive coach,
a lot of that on Tibbs.
Yeah. Some of that is on Tibbs. You're a defensive coach. You're supposed to figure that shit out, Tibbs.
A lot of
definitely that.
On Tibbs.
But the relationship he has with Jalen Brunson's dad, your star player, this guy has been with him 4 years, tied like this. How does Brunson go about this now? Like, does he lose trust in the Knicks? it's just a weird vibe, man. I don't agree with the firing. Like I said, Tibbs has done a lot for this franchise in 5 seasons. He has only won with the Knicks. He's only won back-to-back 51 seasons, like I said, and the first conference finals appearance since 2000. Literally 25 years when there was Reggie Miller and the boys, man. Like, I really do not agree, man. That's it for me, though. That's enough of my rant.
Earl, what about you, man? How do you feel about everything so far? First off, how you doing? How's everything? Oh, your mic's off.
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
All right, my bad. I put
You
some
good?
Carmax on. Yeah.
Earl, talk to me.
Talk to me, brother.
I'm gonna get real for a second, man. Tom Thibodeau should not have been fired. I think this has a lot to do with the construction of the team. I honestly think they overestimated the assets they got. Mikal Bridges, to me, was described as the total lock. No. This is how they told me. They said OG and Mikal Bridges could stop anybody. Y'all had the best wings in the NBA. But personally, when it came down to making those big plays, a lot of the times, those guys were not consistent throughout these rounds. Maybe you got a little bit of a Mikal game. Maybe you got a little bit of an OG game. But the amount of money they're being paid and the amount of assets you spent to get these guys, they did not perform to what they were paid, honestly. And then that OG contract extension, I already thought it was overpay. I still think it's probably worse of overpay now.
If he can open threes, man, I would be happy. But he doesn't do that.
It's wholly overpaid now.
Yes. And then on top of that, like, you got Karl-Anthony Towns, who's a cone. Jalen Brunson is a cone on defense too. And you expect both of these guys to be this amazing duo. Offensively, cool. Yeah, they can go up there and put 60 maybe on an amazing night on your favorite team, but they're going to give up 75, 80. So what does it matter at the end of the day? I remember we came here and talked about it. Omar was telling me, like, yeah, there's lineups where you put Karl-Anthony Towns on the bench and we go on these amazing defensive runs. And to me, that's absolutely crazy. How does your team just manage to get so much better? And we're talking about ways that you can just not have Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns on the floor at the same time.
That was also attributed to Mitchell Robinson coming off the bench and Mitchell Robinson being a plus literally almost everywhere that he was coming off the bench, even on the floor, starting.
Even with
like,
that, though,
a plus.
Even with that, though, we're talking situations where you try to tell me, like, not attacking or anything like that.
No,
but saying
good.
Karl-Anthony Towns not playing with Brunson is a plus for this team on the floor.
100%.
Which statistically it is.
Yes.
And for me, when you have two players like that cost that much money, you got to trade. You got to trade one of them.
To add to what Earl's saying, Earl, before you keep going.
Yeah, you're good.
Mikal Bridges on the playoffs, plus minus. Yes, please. What do you think his plus minus was on the whole playoffs?
Minus 125.
Whoa. It's minus 69, though. Minus 69.
Hey, wait, we close.
That's terrible.
That is horrible.
How you minus? You're supposed to be top 2 defender on the team.
I have to tell you this,
third
guys.
option scorer.
I have to tell you this. I'm gonna get out my phone now because I have my notes here. This is actually what I was gonna tell Max earlier as well. So I'm just gonna again get my notes out here so I can make sure I'm getting the right thing out.
Bridges was a bust this playoffs. He was a fucking, besides him ripping the ball from Jaylen Brown in those 2 games at the end of the game.
Yeah,
he was a fucking bust.
You guys can look at it this way, or you can look at what happened over the past couple of years to make this happen. Thibs has always had this issue with rotations. This year, the starting lineup with Josh Hart in the starting lineup was a minus 12 the entire season, even when the offense was at a top 10 all-time high. We also had 2 very, very, very winnable games in Indiana versus Indiana in that series. Those 2 games were very winnable because if we just played the bench, if we did what we did in game 3, if we did what we did in game 4, we would have won that game. We would have won that game at game 1. We would have won game 2. But Thibs, being the mind that he was, being the person that he was, plays his guys 30, 40 minutes. It's not sustainable. I didn't want to believe it going into the season or going into the playoffs. I didn't want to hear it because I took Jalen Brunson's word for it when he said, I'm just glad that Thibs has played me all these minutes to prepare me for the playoffs. Yes, you can look this up. He really said that. I'm not joking.
No, I'm just saying, like, I just feel like
if I don't get this off, bro,
if I'm being
it's not
completely honest,
I really need to get this off. Let me get this off, and I promise. But like, what I'm trying to say is, I gave Thibs the benefit of the doubt this entire year to get better on the defensive end. He is a defensive-minded coach, and he has two amazing defensive wings at his disposal. He did not dispose of them properly. I gotta be honest.
But that's not Tibbs' fault.
That is Tibbs' fault because
how I can go out there and tell you where to be on the court.
If you're able to stagger rotations, I can tell you this. I have another screenshot with more stats. Let me get that up. Excuse me. Net rating in the playoffs. Hart with JB, Bridges, OG, and Cat. A minus 6.2. McBride with JB, Bridges, OG, and Cat. 15 plus 15.2. Why did this entire run not even make the rotation to allow Miles McBride to play with that starting lineup at all? You know how many minutes they played together? But
still, that's not the problem, Omar.
The playoffs, they played together. That rotation,
Omar,
with Miles McBride in the starting
problem.
lineup.
The problem is you can't hide Karl Anthony Towns.
The problem is
the lineup is going to be a minus. Any lineup with Karl Anthony Towns in it is going to be a minus on the books. Like, we can look at plus minus all day. There were stats when LeBron James, we were like, why does LeBron James have?
That's also why.
But look, there was lineups where we had games we were looking at plus minuses. LeBron had a minus. I think on the season or a stretch of games. It's like it's LeBron. Yeah, finished season minus. LeBron wasn't a horrible defender this year. There was no great team with defensive pieces that just made sense. We had lineups where we had like Jackson Hayes out there, and we had I don't even know, whatever random Lakers player you can name, Gabe Vincent or whatever out there, and
it's a little
they're like a minus 150. No, but I'm saying it's worse for you guys.
I think it's a little better for us because we do have that pieces. We did have those defensive pieces to rotate,
and they didn't do anything.
That's what I'm saying. That's Tibbs' fault.
It's not
literally Tibbs' fault. It is not.
How's that Tibbs' fault?
Why is it not the coach's fault that he's not rotating his bench into the game?
Maybe because if you go look at that quote, the coaches said Karl Anthony Towns was not picking up his assignments. If Karl Anthony Towns is messing up the system and people have to switch, of course the plus minus is going to be horrible.
So I see what both of you are saying, but this is the thing. If you have to sit your second best offensive player,
guys, you're still missing the point.
Win games,
you guys are still missing the point.
Problem with the player, but I see what you're saying, Omar. He should implement that earlier so they don't have to go through that situation.
That's what I'm saying.
But Omar,
he has to do that. He has to make that adjustment.
But the solution,
he is responsible to making that adjustment on the court.
The solution is not playing Karl Anthony Towns. You can't do that.
The solution was playing Karl Anthony Towns next to Mitchell Robinson. That's why we saw a more positive
and that
lineup.
Didn't really do much.
It did do much.
All it did was allow Mitchell Robinson to be a great offensive rebounder. And then what happened the next game?
We got blown out because we weren't able to make those adjustments.
It's not sustainable.
What did Cat do in game 4 when he took over? Remember when Cat took over the game by himself single-handedly with the group that he had out there? It was no Brunson at the time, right? Either one of them have to sit. But if there's a situation where the game is close, it's 5 minutes, 2-point game, they both have to be on the court, Omar. And at that point, whatever happens, happens. Cat is going to miss some defensive assignments. Obviously, the team, they had team meetings, coach meetings. It's been a problem with Cat. But I do understand what you're saying. He should – I blame game 1 on Tibbs. You were up 14 with 2 minutes left. I don't know how the hell you lose that game.
Let me pull up this quote.
Game 1 is – inexplicable.
We know the quote, Earl. We know the quote.
No, I'm gonna read it verbatim.
Okay, I feel you there.
I'm saying
is that in those certain
I got it right here, Chad. Knicks players and coaches expressed frustration with Cat's defense and felt he was executing coverages incorrectly with no explanation to as why. No explanation to why. No answer to why you're doing it like this. Players felt Cat did not grasp the importance of defense. If your second player just has no clue, Like, look, I know I can't talk. We got Luka on our team, but still, Luka can go get me 40, whatever. He's our guy.
Think he's going to be a lot better this year on defense. I really do think so.
No, I do for Luka, but still, like, if that's the quote coming not from the fan, that's from the locker room after you get eliminated.
Well, technically, that's the interviews from the players. Yes,
that's the interviews from the that's the insider interviews. They don't rock with Carl because he doesn't contribute on the defensive end at all. I watch Karl Anthony Towns turn his back on plays. I watch Karl Anthony Towns look at the screen like,
so then let me ask you.
Is that my man? You know who he reminds me of? Wait, it's Rui Hachimura level defense, bro.
I got you. 100%.
That's horrible.
It's way worse.
But I have to ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
I have to ask you guys a question. So then how did the Timberwolves tie for first place 3 ways with Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert right next to him?
Because Rudy Gobert is better than Mitchell Robinson.
Fair. On the defensive end, I agree with you there. But I also think there wasn't. I know. Say this. Take this however you like.
And because
I don't think there was a lot of. I don't think there was a lot of time between the two either. Mitchell Robinson did come back very late, and Karl Anthony Towns was
a great point, Omar. They did not. I talked about this on the pod with my boy yesterday.
That's a great point.
We saw what the Timberwolves did. Cat had to play the 4. Cat at the 5 was nasty defensively.
It was bad.
Work. Even when he played with Naz Reid, Cat was playing the 4 next to Naz Reid.
And I was also complaining about that earlier this season, if you guys remember that. When it was him at 5.
Mitch and Cat lineups. Even though they would have switched Cat ass onto a switch or onto a pick and roll, regardless on defense, Mitch can still help weak side. They had no weak side. When Cat is the 5, there's no weak side. Bridges fell off a cliff defensively. OG is spotty on defense. He does get some weak side blocks at times. Brunson's a cone, and Josh Hart's only 6'3". Cat just cannot be the 5 ever. Yeah. So next season, you either play Mitch more or you get or even like a Siakam.
It's not that I don't think it's
a Siakam type defender. Like,
it's not that I don't think it's Karl Anthony Towns has an issue, because I do. Hell, Earl, I sent that quote to you. I sent that quote to everybody because it was fucked up that it came out less than 30 minutes after the fact. Like, why are we talking about this less than 30 minutes after the game? Alas, throw that to the side.
Bro.
No, throw it to the side. We're not talking about it anymore. But at the same point, it's like, there's a point there. But you can also look at that and realize that you could have hid that. You could have threw Miles McBride in that lineup and did something with that. You could have experimented more during the season. You could have done something a little bit more. All those times you guys are referring to from before the playoffs, we weren't. There was a time where we were talking about playoffs, and then you guys talked about outside of the playoffs. Outside of the playoffs, we're not playing those. We weren't playing the bench at all. It's rough stuff. And like, I looked at our bench. I liked what Landry Shamet did for us. I liked what DeLon Wright did for us.
The highest plus minus of the whole series for the Knicks.
Why is Tibbs not playing him more?
Why? After the first 2 games, Tibbs went into panic and decided to play the bench.
That's what I'm saying.
If
he did that in game 1, they wouldn't have lost. If they did that in game 2, they wouldn't have lost. Yes.
That's the thing is, Tibbs was outcoached by a really good coach. He got outcoached by Carlisle in this series. It's just what it is.
How you doing, brother?
Like the Pacers, like I said in my rant, the Pacers were the second best team in the league at the moment. But by record, go from January 1st to now, after OKC, Indiana Pacers. It's just you just got to take.
To add to that point, bro, it doesn't matter how much good defense you play, bro. And okay, let's reverse and talk about this whole aspect, because we did talk about this going into the series, and I feel like the consensus on the podcast, not from me and Jay, was that the Knicks had the better defense, and I think a lot of people believe that going into the series. But watching that series, Andrew, and Aaron. Absolute dog. I watched Andrew put Jalen Brunson in jail, locking him up. He would not give him an inch of space. I watched Pascal Siakam, who's not known for being an elite defender, clamp up, give no space between the ball. Mm-hmm. Like, and we talk about maybe talent wise, they didn't have the best defensive roster.
They because they knew.
Prepared every moment. They watched all the film. They knew all the spots everybody was going to be in, and they suffocated the Knicks.
Remember what I told you after the first like 10, 15 minutes of game one? It's like Karl Anthony Towns didn't watch any tape on Miles Turner at all this season.
Yeah.
In the middle, midi, boom.
Yeah.
We saw the fourth
But
quarter.
he had like 5 in a row. I'm like, God!
We saw the fourth quarter of game 6, right? Where Hallie went on that little personal run.
Yep.
There was a switch where Cat literally
He's like this.
I was
His
like,
hands are here.
standing. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Cat?
His hands are here. I see Cat's right here. And Tyrese is right next to his face. I'm like,
I don't understand Cat, bro. I don't like. And also, what I got to talk about real quick. This new scapegoat shit, when the series is over and we're just pulling excuses out our asses, I'm not with it, bro. It's so
facts.
This is new. Last season was the first season I saw it. This season is even
I saw
worse.
a lot of that.
Literally for every series there was something.
I hate that, bro.
LeBron spraying MCL as soon as the game's over. Cat, the locker room shit.
You know what?
Out.
You know what Boston fans are doing now? I've seen this a lot, and shout out to Boston Burner. I'm not really talking about you here when I've seen this.
Wow,
I've seen. I don't want you to think that I'm talking about you when I say this, but I've seen like Dave Portnoy and like bigger Celtics accounts say something along the lines of, "Oh, the Knicks beat an injured Celtics team." Were you guys not paying attention?
Yeah, they were getting waxed healthy.
Like, were you guys, with all due respect, were you guys not paying attention to what happened in that series? Dave Portnoy, did you not see what happened in game 1 and game 2? Like, there's a point. There's a point to the madness. I just want to point out the better team won in the Eastern Conference Finals this year. The Pacers were prepared to lock up Jalen Brunson the best that they could have ever. I literally, like, this reminded me of Matthew Dellavedova on freaking Steph Curry, but it's only to say that the Pacers have been really good defensively in these playoffs, and they've come back from like hell of the leads. So
the two best teams, the two deepest teams in the NBA made it to the finals this year.
That is very true.
On that.
No, you're 100% right.
Almost every single person that plays for both of those teams can be rotational players on any team in the NBA.
100%.
Some of them,
and actually, like, we're talking about full MLEs, starting players, like real legit contracts. So I just think that shout out to Indiana. I think they're building something special. And like you hear the reports about the Shams of the world talking about how Indiana now is becoming a destination, which we haven't heard that phrase really ever. Mm-hmm. Like you see this team emerging, they'll have some type of cap space. They got decisions to make in the offseason, obviously, but like people like the idea of, hey, maybe I do want to play with a Tyrese Halliburton, and a Pascal Siakam. Like, so shout out to them for that. I think they're definitely building something special, and congrats to them for locking in and making it to the NBA Finals.
Can we do?
Call me crazy. I think they should stay put. I don't think they should go get a big name or anything like that.
They should do anything crazy. I agree.
Yeah,
I don't think they should. I think they should stay put. They got like a nice, good core there.
The only move you make is you trade Mathurin if you're getting a better piece, because Mathurin just doesn't fit the system.
If that's the only change I'm willing to make if I'm the Indiana Pacers, it's Ben Mathurin for a more consistent shooter.
But can we do 2 minutes on Rick Carlisle?
Wait. I want to hear what Earl said. Earl whispered something. What did you say?
Paul George. Look, I'm just saying. Look, I know what you're thinking.
Wait.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Compared to him, and then
I have to look at defense though.
Paul George, clear.
Younger Paul George, I feel like that's a great one. I feel like the current Paul George, it's like
okay, erase this season that happened because of injuries.
Fair,
last season,
fine.
Use that season as an example.
Okay,
that Paul George is what I'm talking about.
Okay, that's not terrible then. I don't like it. I don't hate it. I mean,
it's good. It's not terrible.
I still think there's. Okay, go for it. I'm gonna let you rock.
No, I'm just saying, like, I said this before the season started. That was my biggest hot take of the season. I said, bro, Paul George should just sign with the Pacers and go play with Indiana, go back home, and then we'll go to the finals. Unfortunately, I got 95% of that right, except for the part that included Paul George in it. So there's a clip somewhere out there in the world for you guys to go find somewhere.
It's somewhere on our YouTube, guys.
It's
go ahead
there.
and check that out.
It's there.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Shout out to Rick Carlisle, man. He is like,
yes,
the way that he coached that 2011 Mavs team to the way he's coaching this 2025 Pacers team, it is a different era of NBA. He went from a slow triangle offense with Dirk at the top, Dirk doing everything mid post, to 7-second offense, they call it. It's literally 7 seconds or less. As soon as they get a rebound, that shit's pushed up court.
Yeah,
that's their whole thing that we've learned. Like when we were like doing rec leagues as kids, you got to score the ball in 7 seconds or
7 seconds or less, and that's literally what.
And the Indiana Pacers just do that like so well.
When you go to Carlisle on the hot mic, all you hear Carlisle on the bench. Pace, move. Just move the ball. That's all they do.
Yep.
They get rebound, half court pass. It's already on that side of the court already. They're scoring with 20 seconds left on the shot clock.
There's going to be like
It's
shirts.
insane.
There's going to be shirts next year saying like the pacing Pacers or something. Watch.
I don't think anything beats the yes sirs. I fuck with it.
No, sir.
Yes, sirs.
I fuck with
No,
the yes
sir.
sirs. I can't.
Dude,
lie.
I found that. Okay. All right. Truth time. I hated that shit, but it's so cold.
It's corny as fuck.
I hated it. It's
very
so
corny.
cold because it's
I
so
fuck with it,
cold.
bro. I do. The apostrophe in the middle. Yes, sirs. You feel me?
Yeah. So
I can see it now, guys. Championship run, Pacers.
So
it's
let's
a nice
move on.
commercial.
Let's move on
Just
to
do
another
it.
side of this.
Clears out. Check. Yes, sirs. Nike, hire me.
So let's
I'm
move to another side of this conversation about Tom Thibodeau. Do you guys see a team in the league that can go ahead and go pick him up, or do you guys see him being like an assistant?
Honestly, I gotta refresh my mind on who actually doesn't have a coach right now.
Phoenix Suns don't have a coach.
Sacramento have a coach.
He will kill.
Christian
He will
Sun.
kill that team if he runs them out. They're too. They can't. That team is not capable of running.
Who else? No,
You like Billy Donovan?
I liked Billy Donovan last season.
Yeah.
I didn't like him any other season before that.
I don't.
Okay.
I actually
think
really liked. I liked the Bulls last year, man. We weren't supposed to be.
To be
good,
honest,
and we won some.
that's what I'm
games.
saying. Like the cards that y'all are dealt right now, I don't think being like a playing team is like bad. Like without making any like major moves or something like that, you know, or close to that range, you know. For now,
Tip to the Sixers is wild.
Nah, he wouldn't play.
that's crazy. Yeah, Joel Embiid will not be a 6-2, by the way, when the season starts. But
Either that or
just
just
a hot take
not
the other day.
playing.
no, he'll be playing. He's gonna be. Joel Embiid will be the MVP of the league next season. Book it.
Embiid is a Laker.
Yeah.
Embiid is a Laker. That's crazy.
No, he's not a Laker.
I almost didn't think that was Laker. I really thought that was something else. But what else we got for on the docket today?
We're not doing we're not doing finals preview today, right? We went until Thursday.
We could do whatever. I mean,
I'll say, I mean, we can talk about OKC. I know we didn't really put much real estate on them today. I'll say, like, OKC, on paper, I know a lot of people, obviously, we've seen the numbers. We've seen the spray come out about them being, like, complete. The Pacers basically being complete underdogs in the situation. But, yeah, I feel like OKC, they have the best defense left in the playoffs. And I think that the Pacers have the best offense left in the playoffs, as crazy as that sounds, like all the way around. So I think it's just going to be, I don't know, man. I'm excited. I think the biggest thing we talked about last week is you just can't fall into the defensive scheme. Like, once, I feel like the Thunder, once they kind of figure you out, it's so easy to just go through your routine. Like, I'm going to play exactly the same way, but you have to be able to make in-game adjustments. And I use the example of the Nuggets. When they played the Nuggets, they figured out Jokic, how he played. He likes the ball up top in the high post-up area, and they just exposed it. They put one person up front. They had one person blitzing the lanes, and they absolutely cut down everything Jokic had, and they forced like 5 or 6 turnovers, built the lead to 15+ in a matter of, 5, 6, not even 5, 6, maybe even less than that, probably like 2 minutes, something crazy like that. So
Right.
for me personally, I think the Pacers, No pun intended. They have to play with pace. I think that if they can outrun OKC, if they can outwork them, that's their best chance of beating them. And defense, man, you can't get into the foul trouble of SGA. Like, and I know SGA, I'll come on here and say it. Jay will say it too as well. Omar too. Like, SGA's game is way more than foul better. Like, he is one of the most skilled offensive players we have in the NBA right now. So with that being said, if you're gonna let SGA beat you, don't let him beat you by you playing lazy defense and falling into that foul game. You have to just force him to make tough shots and contest without fouling. I think that's the biggest thing for me. Mm-hmm. And you can't. The recipe is there, bro. Don't let Jalen Williams get going. If you can cut Jalen Williams out of the offense, you have a really good chance of winning the game and potentially extending the series and making it longer and having a chance to win a championship.
I think I can trust Rick Carlisle to go ahead and throw bodies on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, no matter who it is. I really think he has the balls to do that. Continue, go for it, Jake.
What Earl said is something that I talked about on my pod as well yesterday. Mm-hmm. If they get in a foul trouble, this will be a very, very short series because Nesmith is kind of a fouler. Mm-hmm. And Nembhard, I think, has the best chance against SGA. They play with each other every summer. They're both Canadian, both on the Canadian national team last season. So Nembhard can do some things with SGA. As I saw a graphic today, Nembhard plays all of the best guards pretty fucking elite. Mm-hmm. Like, he held Brunson to 30% as primary defender, held Dame to 14% from 3, 30% field goal in that series before he got hurt. Nembhard does his thing. But this is against the best scorer, literally in the NBA, the scoring champ, the MVP.
Yep.
Will Nembhard be able to take?
Nembhard is a great defender, but he is also a fouler.
Yeah, and he also plays too aggressive, which I was going to lead into. If Shai is getting to him too much, he's beating him to spots, he's getting to his spot too easily, and he starts to play overly aggressive, Shai will, you know how he does, foul baits. He will get into that bag. This will be a very short series because TJ McConnell, that little pesky shit he does, that's not working on SGA. He will shoot over his top every single play down the court. Mm-hmm. Ben Mathurin has always been really a liability on defense. That's why he does not play often. There's not a lot of guys who can guard SGA. This Pacers defense has not really been a good defense this year. It's really their offense is their best defense. So I don't know, man. Nesmith has to guard J-Dub. So if it's not Nembhard disrupting SGA, this series is going to be short as hell. I already had Thunder in 5, regardless of what goes on. Just because I think OKC's defense is the best thing remaining in the NBA right now. Like, their defense is just too good. I saw them. They beat their hardest test, the Nuggets. Like Earl said, once how I saw they threw Caruso on Jokic and just had other guys just swiping down the ball, they can figure out anybody. I think you guys should rewatch the March 29th game, OKC versus Pacers. Chet even played this game. OKC wins 132-111. And I mean, Dort had Halliburton in hell. Pascal Siakam only had 11 points, y'all. Like, they match up very well with the Pacers, man. And just to remind everybody, if y'all know, the Thunder has lost one game to the East all fucking season. Now it's to the Cavs. Like, they whoop the East all season, bro. They don't lose to the East. So keep that in mind also, man.
Yeah, I really thought it was going to be a sweep kind of either way. At least a general.
I got one more thing to throw in there before we wrap up the Knicks / all this. I did see an interesting quote. It just happened to pull up on my timeline. I promise you, I don't search this. It's actually on the BTB account timeline, so I don't search
Yo, wait, pull it in the chat.
This is Pods, Brandon Pozinski talking.
Oh, I heard that.
I'm glad it was the Pacers, not the Knicks, because I felt like if it was the Knicks, it would have been a sweep. I don't think the Knicks had enough to compete with OKC both offensively and defensively.
We didn't. We definitely did not. I agree with that. We definitely
direct quote from your boy Pods.
He's not my boy, but
shout to Pods.
He had no faith.
Kyrdos, those new Magic jerseys are fucking amazing. I love them. New color scheme, a brighter blue. We went back to the pinstripes. We went classic. I fuck with it, Kyrdos. I mess with them, bro.
Although I will say, like, I would have gone with like the same logo, change the jerseys. I wouldn't have changed the logo. I feel like the logo kind of looks like
They went really retro with this one. It's very retro.
I really don't feel that way. Why
I
do I
like it.
feel like it's a more AAU type of logo?
You think it's more modern?
I think it's a lot more modern than. Yeah.
The only thing that absolutely killed me was KCP having one of those new jerseys on. He has to be on. But everything else,
I feel
everything
like
else
this is
was
a
good.
little more modern than because this kind of looks like a tire.
That shit looks beautiful, bro.
It's a basketball.
This looks like a tire.
Can we pull up?
How does it look like a
I
tire?
think I
The
think
blue
they're gonna
statement
end up
jerseys?
using that secondary logo a lot.
Like that's clean.
The jerseys are clean, undebatable.
Like, come on, bro. That's
although
aura.
Bro, we
although I
cooked,
wish
bro.
they did the black jerseys,
That's
I wish they did it
aura,
all the
Chad.
way up. I
This is
don't
clean
like
with
the I
blue
don't
in
like
it.
the blue.
I love that.
I don't like the blue like right here. I just wish they went all full with the black, all the way.
This
up.
is clean, bro. I love it. Like we talk about rebrands. The Clippers did a rebrand. Magic just did one. I think the Magic looks fantastic, bro. I love it. I like the color schemes. I like the pinstripes. That's one of my favorite designs. I like how they have a pinstripe and then they did half classic on top to kind of mix it up a little bit, have something like unique and original. I like that, bro. Like when I think about like buying jerseys, because I'm a big NBA jersey buyer. Like I want something clean. Like my favorite ones recently were the Elgin Baylor Blues. Like it was like
Except
all
if
white
you're
with
not
the blue
Jalen
on
Brunson,
it.
by the way.
Anyways, but yeah, I like watching. I mean, I like looking at these different designs. Like if I want to own something, like I want it to look cool. Like I might cop me a Magic jersey next season. We'll see. This is clean.
These jerseys are fucking nice, bro. I gotta tap.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff has been releasing today. I saw something about like shorts for the Knicks.
And
Next
KD will be traded like 100%. And they
Yep.
say the Suns lowered his asking price. So the off season shit's coming up, y'all boys. I hope y'all tuned in, man.
Make sure you
Summer
follow
wave.
Playoff Sports Network on TikTok because I'll be covering every single offseason move all summer long.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of moves about possibly moving Cat for KD. What do y'all think of that?
I think that's an amazing trade. And
Yeah,
Mikal Bridges has to be in that trade as well.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny? Cat's a better defender than not Cat. KD's a better defender than Cat too. So it's
Really?
already plus, and he's a better offensive
Even
player.
at 38 years old.
I didn't know how to feel.
He's
about
better
it,
defender
to be
than
completely
Cat.
honest with you, because it looked like that we had to give up like a lot, and I don't know if we were.
Dog, if I got a chance to bring Kevin for that, I'm doing it. I'm sorry.
Well, it wasn't a
We
straight
need
swap
dogs.
trade. It wasn't a straight swap. It was like I think Josh Hart was in the deal, and then Mikal was in that deal as well. Like it was
Hey,
a
man.
lot, so I don't know.
I'm cashing the check. No, what is it? I'm a write my signature on the back, take it to the bank, go ahead and
Look,
get my cash.
All I'm saying is
Straight up.
the Knicks in my timeline have always done this in this thing where they always like go after the big shiny free agent. They always look at it like, oh my god, this guy can really turn around our franchise, yada yada yada. And obviously, they've learned that that's not something they should do anymore. And honestly,
Example.
I think I genuinely did not mean to do that, but I really think I quoted James Dolan. Y'all
I
can
was
look that
about to say,
up on their
what
roommate's
example though? What's
But-
an example of them doing that?
Carmelo. We gave up
Other
all
than
of
that,
our-
though,
we gave up all of our assets, everything that made the Knicks for Carmelo Anthony. So it's like, do I love Carmelo? Does it change how I feel about him? No.
let me see what
But-
the original Carmelo Anthony trade was.
Wilson Chandler, Timothy Mozgov. There was a lot. Raymond Felton was in there, I think. No. He was on the trade. He was on another trade on the way to.
Well,
New York.
Raymond Felton's huge now.
Yeah.
Okay, Knicks receive. Bro, this is hold on.
Could you put it up on screen?
I gotta find it first. 1 second. Give me a minute. Knicks receive Carmelo Anthony, Chauncey Billups, Sheldon Williams, Anthony Carter, and Ronaldo Blackman. Nuggets receive Wilson Chandler, Gallinari, Timothy Mozgov, Raymond Felton, a 38 overall pick, 51 overall pick, 12th overall pick. This is from 2014, and then 2016 pick swap. That's when Denver got Jamal Murray. That's funny. That's not even.
The Knicks also traded Eddie Curry and Anthony Randolph in cash to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Corey Brewer as part of the deal.
I mean, but that team wasn't doing anything.
I think the Knicks fleeced.
I don't think so.
I don't understand how you say this was them killing the culture. Like, what was this culture going to do?
1, 2, 3,
they
4,
fleeced.
5.
Fucking fleeced.
Well, they're telling you what the picks are. It's like not anybody
5
crazy.
picks. Jamal Murray.
What they ended up being.
Yes, Jamal Murray being in that, and Sarge was good to start.
Raymond Felton. No, it wasn't that deal. Look at that. I wasn't wrong. Danilo Gallinari. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Okay.
I know. I'm not saying you didn't. I'm just saying like it's not
I
anything.
surprised myself a little bit.
It's not crazy. Like that's not crazy to me though. That's a steal to get Carmelo Anthony, in my opinion. At the time,
for what the league was, I'm not sure.
Yes, that's a steal for what the league was.
What was that?
Getting
5
a player
picks
who can
along
put
with, like,
30
a whole
plus on the
lineup?
point.
Oh.
Bro, we're talking about okay, this is the era and that era right there of basketball. That's
Right.
like when 30 was like 40.
Yeah,
We're talking about
2011, like the lockout season to 2014, basketball was kind of nasty. There were some bad teams.
Yes. Like if you had a
the
Bron,
Sixers, the Bobcats teams were terrible.
yes.
Yep.
Yes. That's a steal. I'm doing that every day of the week. Forget Knicks culture, bro. Them dudes are not touching Melo. I'm sorry. Even at the time I'm doing it. And the Knicks had plenty of chances to kind of build around Melo too. Like they tried. I do agree in some aspects with the Amon Shumpert, J.R. Smith situation. I think that was a good effort. But there were other years where it's like, okay, could we have gone a little bit more in? Yes. We will. Just traded for 8. All right. He's definitely at 85. You must have edited his stats.
But no, it was all really to say that I don't think the Knicks are going to go crazy and go into an aging superstar. The way that I see this, I think that they could go for Giannis with that type of package where you're offering more than one player into that deal. I don't see them doing that for KD. I see them offering Karl Anthony Towns with picks. So in a situation where it's a benefit for the Suns.
I hate to say this to you, Omar. The Knicks have absolutely nothing to offer to the Bucks to get Giannis. They traded all their picks in that fucking Mikal deal. They have no picks, and that's what the Bucks need. If you're gonna trade Giannis, we need 4 to 7 picks because we're gonna be ass. So Dame is out for the year. Giannis gone. Then your next best is Kyle Kuzma. So even if you get a Bridges and a Cat in that deal, we need picks, and the Knicks ain't got that. I just don't think that's not feasible right now. I think the Knicks are going to make a trade this summer. I just don't know who it's for yet. I think KD is the most
trade
likely.
Jalen Brunson.
The most likely.
I don't want to trade for KD, man.
Trade Jalen Brunson.
So Omar, would you risk it all for 1 year of great KD?
No, because that doesn't guarantee me a championship.
So all right.
Nothing guarantees a championship.
1 year of great KD, because KD's always going to be great till he retires. So 1 year of great KD, or 3 to 4 more years of a generationally bad defensive cat.
I'm taking KD every day of the week.
I'm taking the 1 year rent on KD. I don't care. I'm renting KD for a year.
Again, only if I'm really like straight swapping them. But
if you add KD to your team, he's the best player on the roster.
Yeah, duh. Nobody's arguing that.
I think a straight swap is.
I'm just saying.
Nobody's arguing that one.
But what I'm saying is, like, if you had a chance to use Karl in a trade like that,
if Jalen Brunson gets killed,
you do it. KD is a better defender. He's a better scorer than Jalen Brunson.
I'll agree, a better defender, but now
better scorer.
KD's the greatest scorer ever. So
ever
potentially
yes.
Him or Michael Jordan.
Ever yes, but now
yes.
Omar, bro, somebody screenshot Omar making that fucking face.
The Brunson glaze. Click. Sorry, my bad.
All I'm saying is Brunson has been under the radar for a minute in terms of how he gets the ball in the basket. His footwork, you said the other day, or
his footwork.
What?
His footwork. His footwork. It's so amazing.
He can work you, bro.
It's so spectacular.
It is.
He is up there with Luka with the footwork.
Look, I'll say this. Look. Stats this year, because I like to bring over receipts. Yeah, KD was better. I'll just say that.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Katie's 26 points per game for Jalen Brunson.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. Really good, actually. Number one option hoops. But Kevin Durant playing next to Devin Booker. 26 points, 6 points per game, shooting 43% from three. Nasty. Put him. I'm just saying.
They scored the same amount of points.
But I'm saying, like, he's playing next to Booker.
So,
Omar, I don't want to get your hopes up.
He's a ball-dominant guard.
I don't want to get your hopes up, Omar. But imagine a KD lineup with Brunson. I'm going to say Bridges.
You're not getting my hopes up. That's the last thing you're doing.
Bro, no, listen though. Brunson, Hart, KD, Mitch Robinson, and then whoever the hell else you have. I think that's a good lineup.
Put Deuce in there, it might look good, but
I like the lineup. Defense, it balances out. You got two dominant offensive players, and then the rest
going to be. Where's our bench going to be?
Same place it is now.
I'm not fantasizing about anything, man. I'm not Stephen A. Smith over here. Which apparently, according to NBA Central, not Centel, I made sure Central, Stephen A. Smith has a higher chance of becoming the New York Knicks head coach than Mike Malone. He's at a plus 6,000, and Mike Malone doesn't even have a rating.
Bro,
he doesn't even have it.
Those numbers, bro. Those numbers are actually rated,
obviously, bro. I know.
All they do is they pull out random. They literally, admin goes 6,000 plus 155. That no, bro. There's no way you can statistically pull up those numbers. It's not real. They're just making up data. It's not real data. Every time I see those odds, I just think immediate free content. Immediate free content, bro.
Is Nick Nurse going to be coaching Philly next year? I think if Nick Nurse gets fired, he will be coaching the Knicks.
Facts, Q. Facts.
I'm looking at, if I'm the Knicks, though, to kind of finish this off, guys, if I'm the Knicks, I'm looking at two coaches. I'm looking at three coaches. Okay. Three coaches in particular I'm looking at this season if I'm the Knicks. I'm looking at Mike Malone. I'm looking at Taylor Jenkins. And believe it or not, I'm looking at Johnny Bryant. I'm looking at Johnny Bryant in Cleveland.
I like Taylor Jenkins.
Taylor Jenkins is a good pick. I do like that too. It might be a good pick. I think the Knicks are going to go look at Johnny Bryant, though, actually, because they already have that relationship with him. They left on pretty good terms. And Johnny went to go hang out with Donovan Mitchell for, a year. And that actually got them to first place. But I was also under the impression that Johnny was going to take the job after Tibbs was subsequently moved on from. So I think they may. Damn, Tibbs got the full wash and everything.
Man, Tibbs shit now is cooked, bro.
Yeah, he's just a bald man. I hope I don't end up like
Tibbs
that.
is not bald yet, but he don't.
You will in the future, but it's okay. It's
Stop
life.
it! Why you gotta do me like that?
I'm just saying, it's life. That's what happens.
Well, my dad has a full head of hair. Keep it positive, man. Damn.
One day.
No. But yeah, no, I do think the Knicks' relationship with Johnny Bryant will actually get him in the door and get him an interview. I wouldn't be surprised. And we'll see what happens from there, because Johnny Bryant has proved that he can be a really good coach at times. I remember when he took over for Tibbs for a little bit. I think it was not even a week. It was a couple of games, and he executed what he had to do pretty well. So I really like him. I think he would be a great coach in this league, frankly. I think he was in the running for the coach for Cleveland before he decided to take that assistant job with them under Kenny Atkinson. So other teams see it too. So it's not the craziest thing in the world to bring in Johnny Bryant as well. So those are my three candidates who I'm looking at. And yeah. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Make sure to check us out on YouTube. We are here every single week on the Playback. We are here Tuesdays. We are here Thursdays. And we are here Fridays. Thursdays, we are in our Beyond the Backboard room. Go ahead and join that if you guys are not there. We do our 2-minute drills over there. And come back here every Friday, 4:30. And that's where our 2-minute drills are.
Cannon, appreciate that, Brody.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate every
Appreciate
single
y'all.
one of you guys. Peace out.
Peace. Y'all boys
Peace.
be easy.